So just to reiterate, this is the Camp Chef XT24. It came well boxed, very protected. I see no apparent damage once I got this beast out of the actual boxing. This is everything that came with it. We're going to go through this a piece at a time. Okay, good. Now we're to the actual assembly portion. One. That's what I like to see. Just tell me what I got to do. Another thing that I've noticed is that everything, the grills, everything that came with this grill is actually pretty heavy duty. This is a pretty heavy little son of a biscuit right here. So I'm going to take this whole entire unit and I'm going to set it on top of my massive toolbox to where I can actually get to everything a little easier. I'm not going to put you through the painful visual of watching me cry like a little girl when I try to pick this up. Each bolt calls for a lock washer on the outside. That's a lock washer right underneath that bolt head. And there's a threaded sleeve on the inside. And just so you know, these are Allen head screws. So we're going to do this 4 times, tighten those down. So far, 3/16 Allen wrench fits that okay. I've got a metric set somewhere I cannot locate. It might fit a little better, but 3/16 works okay. Okay guys, we've got everything sitting on its feet like it's supposed to be. We got the axle and wheels there. Very self-explanatory. We got the other legs sitting where they're supposed to be. Now we're moving to the other side of the unit, which is, I think this is the chimney. 3 screws hold this thing on. I don't know if the gasket's asbestos or what. So I screwed the cap on. It says in the summer the gap should be 1.5 inches. In the winter the gap should be 1/2 inch. So here's what we got so far. We've got all the legs on. We've got the axle and the wheels on. We've got the handle on the lid itself. But I had forgotten to put the heat shield on yesterday, so I did that just now. No big deal. Pretty easy deal. Don't forget that when you're going through the steps. You got to follow the directions step by step, and I just got in a hurry. Now we're going to flip the camera around, and I'm going to continue on with putting this thing together. I'm telling you guys, this is actually a really quality pellet smoker. I have no experience with pellet smokers at all. This is all new to me. It came with a hickory premium hardwood pellets bag, and I think it's 20 pounds. So that's what I'm going to start off with. Now they make a bunch of different kinds of wood pellets for smoking. You can get pecan, you can get almond, you can get fruit trees like plum, and that's just going to be a learning curve for me. But anyway, I'm going to flip the camera and let's get started on this. Okay, so according to the directions, the next thing is to install the hopper handle which goes right here on the end of the box that holds all the pellets, and that's actually how you pick it up and move this thing around. So let's try that next. And the cool thing is they kind of dummy proof this stuff. This little handle came wrapped in a plastic bag, and they kind of dummy proof it in a way because they already have it set up with the bolt, the lock washer, the flat washer, and the rubber washer already in play. All right. Okay, next on the agenda is the grease bucket. Hang grease bucket from tube as shown in figure 5. And then when you go to figure 5, it gives you not only the grease bucket where you're supposed to land the ash cup as well. And I hope you guys don't mind me going into this kind of detail, but I get comments all the time about not going into enough detail. So I'm just trying to keep it real here. So according to this, the grease bucket's going to hang right here on this little doohickey. And the ash cup is going to be somewhere in this general area. Okay, we're getting ready to hang the ash cup. Caution hot. Never operate the pellet grill without the ash cup in place. Allow grill to cool before removing ash cup. Are you freaking kidding me? You know what that means, and you've heard me say this before. That means some dumbass grabbed that when it was red hot and screamed, "Owie! Now I'm going to have to sue you." So that's the world we live in today. So we're going to take the cup. We're going to set it right here. And there's slots for that. And just so you know, it doesn't actually hang exactly level, but hey, whatever. We did it right. And according to the instructions, it hangs right here. And that catches the grease. I'm not real impressed with the aesthetics of that, but it serves a purpose. So what you have here, you have this notch. And if you flip this around, there's another notch just like it, adjacent to the other side. You take this, and you see that little piece right there and right there. You drop this in. And it sits in those notches here and here. Next step is the actual drip tray right here. It's got a 90-degree angle on it, or 70-degree angle, whatever, right here. And it's got a lip on this end. And according to the print, this sits on top of the heat deflector and sits there on that lip, and down here on this lip to drain into the outside bucket. I'm going to set the upper edge there. The lower edge drains down into there. Bada boom, bada bing. but I don't know if it angles back that direction or if you're just going to get spillage all over this lip right here. I don't know if you can see it, but I've got like oil all, look at that. I've got oil all over my fingers. I'm starting to feel sick. I don't know what's happening. I kid, but I hope this is food grade oil and not some petroleum-based BS product. Look at that. You may want to put on some gloves when you're doing this. And then, of course, next on the list is the warming rack and cooking grates. Here and here. And then, of course, the clean out knob assembly, which will come in a minute. Let's see if we can figure out what is what. Something else that is noteworthy, when you have to clean this out, you literally have to pick this up, then pull the knob out for the clean out. Kind of cheesy in a way. Hopefully that'll work okay over time. Okay guys, it's a couple days later. I've had a lot going on. So here's my bag of wood pellets, and today is the day. I'm going to go ahead and crank this puppy up. The old Camp Chef XT24 out in front of the Texaco sign. Bear with me, I'm going to flip the camera around, open this up, show you how to fill the hopper as I go, because I'm figuring this out on my own too. And then we're going to light it and see what happens. Hope something doesn't blow up. Now the reason why the company wants you to do a burn off or whatever before you ever actually start using it, and if you noticed, if you watched the previous parts of this video, that stainless drain pan right there is just covered with some kind of oil. I hope it's food grade. I'm assuming it's got to be. And so I'm going to pull all that out, show you how the hopper feeds the wood chips in the pellets, and then I'm going to put this tray back in there before I crank it up to operating temperature. This other lid that you flip up is where the actual pellets go in. You'll notice right there is the auger. So when you fill this hopper up, naturally pellets are constantly falling into that, and then the auger pulls the pellets that direction into that little hole right there, and that's where the magic happens, where the fire starts. You can see the tip of the auger right there. So I might as well leave this apart now. We'll go ahead and fill that hopper up and watch the pellets pull through. It goes pretty slow. And then of course this rod here goes out, has a knob on the end of it that you can pull to open or shut, and that's the clean out that lets the ashes fall out of here down into that cup right there. Alright, I'll be right back with you here in just a second. Okay, we got our bag of pellets. Got the hopper opened up. I'm only going to burn this for a half an hour to burn all the excess oil off and cure the paint, they say. So I'm not going to get crazy, but I do want to make sure I fill the screw hopper up. I think that's going to be more than enough, but we can always check it as we go. Okay, so I've got my electricity plugged in. According to the instructions, I turn it on. I push this button, or no, I scroll Yeah, till it says feed. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, you can see that. Then I hit it again. That's going to start the timer from 7 minutes and back it off. I can hear it rolling. And now we wait until we see pellets dropping. And the screw is rotating extremely slowly, so I'll just get back with you when we start seeing pellets pop out. Okay guys, the time on this is at roughly 2:30, and we're just now starting to drop pellets. So far so good. Alright, so it just went off and it's telling me to set the temp now, and it really didn't get a whole lot of them in there. I'm not going to do anything with it. I may throw in a few more chips around it just in case. So we'll go to set temp. Low smoke, high smoke. Keep rolling till we get to 350 degrees. Press to confirm. Now let's see what happens. It's making all kinds of noise anyway. So we're now making some smoke. It's still feeding in, but the smoke's coming out pretty good. I'm going to have to ditch this camera and go ahead and get the grates and the drain pans and stuff put back in. I'll get right back with you. I don't know if you can hear it on the video, but it sounds like a small jet engine. I got all the grates put back in except for the two black ones. I just want you to be able to see this before I close it up. The start cycle will finish in 1 minute. And it says always start the grill with the lid open. The lid must be closed after the start cycle. That's pretty much it. We got 19 seconds. And then I can close the lid. And then we wait a half an hour and let this thing get up to 350 degrees for 1/2 hour, according to the manufacturer specifications. All right then. It's been roughly, I don't know, maybe 3 minutes, and already we're at 260 degrees on its way to 350 degrees. So it's going to heat up relatively fast. Once it does that, I'll set the timer on my phone for a half an hour. So far, everything's doing exactly what it's supposed to do. Well, my alarm just went off. This thing's been bumping along for a half hour. And one thing I've noticed, it never fluctuates over about 3 or 4 degrees, so it keeps a pretty constant temperature. Now we go in. Shut down. And that is a 20-minute process to burn off the rest of the pellets that are in the burn cup, and then we're good to go. So that's pretty much a wrap from here, other than I can't wait to actually smoke some meat in that. Alright guys, so I'm waiting for it to go through the shutdown mode. It's a 20-minute process to cool everything off, and then I'm going to drag it back inside here. I'm going to keep it covered and protected from the weather. And if you ever purchase one of these, you need to either purchase a cover if you don't have a place indoors to store it, or store it inside, because I bet you that those digital controls aren't going to last very long out in the weather. Other than that, the thing is bulletproof. There's 2 temperature probes so that you can, if you're cooking multiple pieces of meat or different levels inside the pellet grill, you can keep up with the temperature so you'll know when they're done and don't overcook. And other than that, I'm very happy, and I hope you are too. I hope the things that I showed you are informative, maybe help you not make some of the mistakes that I made while I was putting this together and getting it set up to cook with. So until next time, thanks for tuning in to Okladoma. If you haven't subbed, please do. Throw me a like. Everything that you do helps me out a lot on my channel. Until next time, this is Shaw, signing out.